I think the last time Miami beat a quality football team, when I say quality, I'll say top 10 to 15 team in the country, would be the back-to-back weeks when they beat Virginia Tech and Notre Dame and whipped them both, annihilated Notre Dame, whipped Virginia Tech decidedly in those back-to-back games at Hard Rock in 2017.
Agreed. The only time before that I would say is just maybe 9 months before that when we beat West Virginia, a solid West Virginia team.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that. But go ahead.
I'd say since then, all the wins have been, beating teams that you're supposed to beat and generally not looking good doing it, but sometimes looking good doing it. The step in the right direction this season, just looking at results, would be that instead of losing to a 3-9 Georgia Tech team, losing to FIU, losing to a 5-win Duke team, losing those games, you've beaten everybody you're supposed to beat. Everybody that's lined up that you're supposed to beat, you've beaten them. Some haven't been so impressive. Virginia. Some have been more impressive. Florida State. Is beating Florida State this year like beating Florida State another year? Obviously not, but they can't be embarrassed about who the opponent is. You just play who's out there. As I stated a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about this, unfortunately, until North Carolina and possibly Virginia Tech, and I don't know that they're quite where I would want them to be to make this statement, I would like to see Miami play. See, we saw them play one of the 3 best teams in the country. And now we're seeing them beat like the 50th teams in the country. Maybe. Florida State's not near the 50th best team in the country even. That's who they're playing right now. It would be great to see them go out and play Michigan, go see them play Texas A&M, or see, a top 10 to 15 type team just to see where they're at against that team. That would be fascinating. I don't think they're quite there, but it would be a really good game. It'd be fascinating, intriguing. And if Miami walked away with a win, I wouldn't be shocked by any stretch. Now, if somebody pointed a gun to my head and said, who's going to win the Michigan-Miami game, I'd say Michigan.
All right, Mark, let me ask you this. Who wins the Texas-Miami game?
Wow.
That's a toss-up, isn't it?
That would be interesting. Who would win the Texas-Miami game? I think Miami wins.
I think Miami wins if the right Miami shows up. But you can say the same thing about the right Texas. Because you watch Texas, and that's why I say there's 2 teams that I think we're super analogous to, and that's Texas and USC. And a third one that a lot of people don't like, Auburn, because they can catch you off guard just easily. It's going to be a tough out, but you may be able to the catch out of the bag when it comes to Coach Malzahn's offense. If the defense decides to show up that week, it could be a little harder for you, Yeah. So either way, it's like it's a toss-up. I mean, because Ellinger, who's he throwing to? But then who's Miami going to block on that defensive line? So I think that would be one of the bowl games I would love to see, because I think it would be really coached. We would be out-coached. So it would come down to the players.
Manny Diaz is the best coach in college football. Wholesome one. So I don't.
It's like people are on here saying De'Aaron King was the best QB in the nation.
So the last point I'll make, I just wanted to make the note of, in my estimation, the last time they beat really quality teams, and I defined that by a top 10 to 15 team in the nation. Virginia Tech, not so much, but the Notre Dame game for sure, because Notre Dame went on and they went, I believe, 10-3, won a pretty major bowl game, finished in the top 10 or 12 in the nation. So that was a very quality win. Notre Dame didn't disappoint that year, and they pulled through with a really solid team. And then they're winning the games that they're supposed to win, which they didn't do last year. Now, the note about the Big Ten. Now, I know I'm a defender of the Big Ten, but come on, some of the people that made comments about the Big Ten's trash and the ACC is better than the Big Ten. The ACC is not better than the Big Ten. So,
it's so hard, Mark, I tell you. Because what happens is it's not just Miami. It's just people who are so secluded to their favorite team that they just can't appreciate college football. Just college football on it. Go ahead. Maybe you could explain it better. It sounds different coming from you than coming from me. Go ahead.
I would love if it was reasonable for us to have a debate about the best conference in college football, the second best, the third best, but it's really clear the top 2 are the SEC is the best conference and the Big Ten is the second best conference. Then the other three, I think we could argue all night.
Interchangeable, yeah.
Oh my goodness, we could argue all night. And for anybody who's in the live chat that has made those comments about the ACC and derogatory comments about the Big Ten, I'm not going to go through the litany of results and comparisons that are easily justifiable based on the non-conference games that are played every year, based on the bowl games that are played. It's very easy to defend the Big Ten as the second best conference in America. It's not even difficult. So I'm not going to get into all the score results and everything, but I will summarize all of that by saying the ACC went 5-19 against the other conferences last year. Whoa. And Clemson won 3 of those games.
That's bad. And we lost to Louisiana Tech and FIU, so.
Didn't even include those 2. Those are just the Power 5 numbers. And one of those wins was against Rutgers. So you got Clemson with 3, and you've got the other one was against Rutgers.
What did you say? It's Rutgers, man.
Yeah, Boston College beat Rutgers.
Woo!
And yeah,